Hi guys and welcome to another Train Sim 2022 video. Today of course taking a look at the newly released Armstrong Powerhouse Class 700, 707 and 717 Enhancement pack. This has been quite a contentious one. I've seen some of the bits and pieces that have been said about it in various groups over the last couple of days. But I'm looking at this with fresh eyes. I knew about the 717, but I didn't know any of the features that are going into this. I haven't even read the manual yet or anything like that. I'm going to do a bit on DC, and then I'm going to switch over and do a bit on AC, so that we get both the sound sets and have a quick look at all the little features that are included in it. It won't be a complete scenario. And of course, with first look videos, please remember you're not here for the driving. It will be awful because I'll be reading at the same time. We'll start this scenario, do a little bit on it, probably 10 minutes of this one, and then we'll switch over to an AC scenario and do sort of 10 minutes on that. Cover it as best I can, so it's a nice concise video for you for a first look. Right, that waffle out of the way, let's get going. Hello driver, first things first, switch ends and set the cab where you see the road into Bellingham station, where you will reverse and head for Orpington. Here are some book timings, blah blah blah. We're not fussed about that, we just need to know what we're doing, which is reversing and then reversing again. So let's get into this cab. The cab's looking very, very nice. Right, starty uppy. Master key.
TPWS and AWS operational.
Fault alarm? Fault alarm on F, nice. Nice little touch that, loving the new brake gauge already. Hello driver, please tab to obtain permission to pass the signal ahead at danger. That's fine. GSMR does... Oh. I was hoping for GSMR, I'm not going to lie. I really was hoping we'd get GSMR in this. But it's okay. I can live without that. I can live without it. Let's get DRA off. He's got that in, which I do like as well. Let's get that into forwards. I'm driving with a PBC. I will do a bit without the PBC so you can see that this is... I'll tell you what, I'll start with a keyboard. I'll start driving with the keyboard so you see that if it's infinitely notched. So it is. It's a variable power brake controller, as it should be. But I will be driving the rest of the scenario with the... let's just check the brake as well. Yeah, it's infinite as well. I'll be driving the rest of the scenario with the PBC, which will make it look like it's stepped. Loving the stickers. Loving all the stickers. It's one of the really prominent things about the 700s is they're covered in little weird vinyls everywhere. Everything's got a warning sticker on it. It's quite funny, really. So far it handles nicely as well. Oh, I didn't do my headlights, did I? Done them automatically. Okay. Yeah, it has done them automatically by looks things. Do we want that? Yeah, I think that's what they run on. I don't know what the 700s run on, whether they just run on the markers or with the actual bigger lights. I'd have to look that up to know. But we'll have a play through the light settings anyway. We'll have a look at them. And then when we're reversed, we'll do a little bit of sound from the interior and exterior on DC, and then we'll do switch over to AC. And there's the air coming on. Brilliant. The gauge works. The air brake gauge works properly as well. This is a reduced length unit. That's why I've got RLU on the desk here. Let's put you there. Did it say open the doors at Bellingham? Yeah, let's just switch ends. And we'll... Assuming you have the road, you may get your way to Orpington. So I don't think we do have to open the doors. That's fine. Like that. I'm still neutral. I think I need to put my other one in my other cab into off. Yeah, that's that done. That's an off. Switch cabs again. Master key. That would help.
TPWS
And AWS operational. Do we have a bogey cam? Yes! Excellent. Oh, look at the weathering. Love it. Right. Bogey cam leaving Bellingham. Tell you something, the physics are very, very nice. It's definitely a lot more sluggish. I'm guessing there's going to be a DC and AC version of the physics as well. So we'll probably take this to Orpington on DC. Cab is nice. We have a second man view. That is cool with a cab as well. I like that a lot. $50 coming up as well. Now, this is nice. I like this. I like this. Right. Usual blurb. So, liveries. We have Thameslink with the old livery and the new livery in the white, which is what we're in now. Then we have the 707 in South West Trains with the logo, with the South Western Railway logo, which is the ex-SWT SWR one. Without logo XSWT. Then we've got the Southeastern Blue. And then we've got the 717. We'll come on to the 717 when we do the AC stuff, because I'll talk more about that. But just to get it out of the way here and now, for anyone that doesn't want to continue watching the video, I'm not clicked on the. Ready for an emergency brake? I wasn't clicked on the video, so I missed the AWS. At least you get to see how to recover from it now. So we can recover from that pretty easily. It's a simple one, which I like. So yeah, 717 does not come with a 717 cab. We'll talk more about that later, but it does not have its own cab. It does not have a bespoke 717 cab. There's many reasons for that. I will come on to that later. Loving the noises this thing makes. Right, TNU, I'm guessing, for my doors. And the door timings look a lot better than they were before, which is another nice thing that was not brilliant on the other one. This isn't Orpington, is it? No, this is Ravensbourne. Well, we've stopped at Ravensbourne to see the doors. See that little farty noise it makes? Love it. Oh, it's got a holding brake. Hold on. So what this is doing is this is going to be putting a bit of brake on when I'm going into power. So it's still got, that's still holding me. And then... Nice. I like it. I like it. Got a single yellow diversionary with 50. That's fine. Okay, keyboard controls, anything on there that I haven't seen before. Battery isolation, that means we're going to get cold start, which is nice. Depot horn. Normal horn as well. Like it. That's a red. It's even got the weird whistling noise they make. Oh, I love it. This has got some depth to the sounds. This has. Loving the air brake gauge works properly as well now. Right, while we're stopped, let's take a look at the outside a little bit more. Before anyone goes, oh, it's moving. It is a train sim bug. Not on everything, from what I've noticed. They haven't managed to sort out the wheels actually being in the track, which is I don't expect them to sort that because it's going to be a model issue, but it's there. Coupler's been updated a bit like that. We've got all of the little like vinyls and stuff. Loving those. Maybe would have liked to see some extra detail on the wheels, like Max did on his pack. Well, I think Ivor did those bits actually. But it is looking lovely. We've got the road again now. Holding brake, look. Even on a descent. Oh, we're actually on the flat there. And my headlights are still on at the rear end. That's goody, Alan. Well done. Great. 10 out of 10 for driving today. 10 out of 10 for driving. We're still on a single yellow, so well, we can get to the platform at least. It's not our platform though. And we're on a single yellow again. So there's nothing extra special on there for the keyboard commands. Features, traction physics, care has been taken to accurately simulate them. So AC acceleration is very brisk and constant around 22 mile an hour. Where it begins to tail off, 100 mile per hour can be reached with ease. DC, initial acceleration is good at around 80% of the rate of AC, but quickly tails off from around 14 miles an hour and soon becomes sluggish. 90 mile per hour will be reached, but it takes time. So they have modelled that, which is good. Oh, brakes, they've got the three. Yes, Holden brakes in there, brilliant. So friction brake. Conventional friction braking is blended below 7 miles per hour if the driver or minor appliance is on. Unlike other trains, it is not used instead of the dynamic brake during wheel slide or an emergency application. That's quite cool. I've done it again because I've not clicked on the stream. And I keep calling it a stream when it's a video. So just to explain, if you've got two monitors and you run Train Sim in borderless, if you're like me reading the manual over here and you're scrolling through it, keyboard commands or any of the peripherals won't be read in TS. So that's what happens. If you watch the streams, you're used to it. You're very, very used to it. But if you don't watch the streams, you might not understand it. So it's just me not clicking back on the game once I've moved the manual. Quite like that fencing. Was that new in this room? Oh, there's a darker one over there as well. I quite like that. So we've got friction brake again, so that comes down. Doesn't use the friction brake instead of dynamic brake for during wheel slide or emergency brake application. That's quite cool. That's a new one on me. Dynamic brake, when the friction brake is not being used as described above, dynamic braking uses the traction motors to slow the train. Holding brake. So this describes the holding brake. Holding brake is provided to prevent an uncontrolled rollaway. Whilst the train is at a stand, the holding brake applies a friction brake application of approximately 1 bar of pressure when the train is at a stand. The power brake controller must not be in a power notch. The holding brake is released as soon as the power is applied. So it basically means you can't get a rollback. And you don't have to manually hold the brake to get the acceleration. As soon as you go into power, the brake will come off. That's where you get that noise, which is one thing I really like about their 700s. They haven't got much character, but that, to me, but that is one of them. It's definitely one of them. With a single yellow after that as well, wouldn't we? This was the wrong scenario to do while reading, I tell you that for nothing. Right, emergency brake will come on. That's yellow again. I've got a single yellow. Emergency brake application is approximately 10% stronger than full service and occurs in the following circumstances. Moving the power brake controller to the E position. Clicked there, quick enough. Pressing the emergency brake plunger. Failure to acknowledge an AWS warning or driver vigilance device. Moving the master key to off. Moving the reverse to neutral above 6 mph an hour. Pressing the door release buttons above 6 mph an hour. Adhesion. So this has got full adhesion with the same as the 800. So it's got it's not just the weather pattern it's done by, but also time of day, tunnels. It all does it in the weather, so it all makes a difference to the adhesion, which is lovely. It gives you that variable wheel slide, wheel slip stuff that AP have been putting in their packs recently. Crisp, love it. Dual voltage functionality, so we've got AC and DC functionality. You can switch between the two. Oh, there's the flashing power light as well. That's cool. It's got neutral section functionality. When passing through a neutral section, the power supply switch will illuminate to indicate loss of overhead traction. Power, when overhead power returns, the power supply switch will flash for a short time until the traction's available again. That's red. So that's going to help us with the neutral sections as well, which is quite cool. I didn't know they actually did that in real life, so that's cool. It's got, like the 800 again, with the IET pack, it's got driver only and selected door operation. So DOO, guard operated, SDO. SDO selected door operation. It's kind of a bit of a hack, this one, because it's what Train Sim does by default. It just won't open the doors at platforms that aren't there. On coaches where there isn't a platform there. What it does rely on heavily, though, is that the platforms in each route are made properly. Because if they're not laid out properly, you will get the doors open even if it's not there, or not enough doors opening, vice versa. Automatic unit numberings in player changeable destinations, so with F7 and F8, and you have Thameslink, Great Northern, Great West Train, Great West Trains, South West Trains, South Western Railway, South Eastern. Oh, I've got the arcing pantograph again, so this gives it different times of day, an hour before, an hour after sunset, I think it is. Sunrise and sunset. Yeah, from 1 hour after sunrise to 1 hour after sunset on a dry day, there is only light arcing, and then it will become more if it's in winter or if it's been raining. You get heavy arcing, things like that. Does it have a pantograph light? I know it won't be illuminated as such in this weather. Oh, it won't be on at all because we're in DC mode, will it? But does it? It does have it. It's there. It's there. So that's cool. I'm guessing that won't be illuminated in DC. Cold starts. It does a full cold start with batteries on, from batteries on, and then building up the main res pressure. Brilliant. There's loads of nice features in this, which is a really nice thing to see. So, Richard's Bits and Bobs, one of my favourite sections of the EPs. This is Bickley, so I don't need to stop here either. Newly modelled front to represent the 717 with the limitations of the original Class 700 model. Pantograph monitoring light illuminates pantograph, perfect. High quality head marker tail lights, click and click. Full length unit, reduced length unit RL stickers on here, so they're on the desk. Ah, that's why it looks all nice and clear. So the original 700, I'm not going to get into how bad the original 700 is too much, but it had a big sort of reflective texture, which, I don't know, I didn't find it too intrusive, but I do quite like the fact it's not there now. That does look quite nice. Makes it a much brighter environment to be in, a much more clearer environment to be in, which is nice. Appearance of Dmi screens improved with dust and higher contrast. Let's have a look at those a bit closer up. This is the Dmi, by the way. That does look cool. The extra little weather and detail on that is nice. Like that, and I think they've changed some of the ECTS stuff that was there that shouldn't have been there. So before anybody goes, the screens don't work properly. Whilst these are touch screens, we don't have a route or a system in place in TS currently that uses ECTS properly or ATO. There are things afoot for that, but let's wait and see. While we're here, let's discuss the TMS. That's non-functioning, and this would be DOO camera screens. I would have liked to have seen something on the TMS screen, even if it was just a placeholder, to be honest. Might have just made the cab more engaging for probably not massive amount of effort. Considering we haven't got anything on the GSMR or anything like that, yeah, I probably would have liked to have seen something done on those. I don't know how difficult it would have been, but I would have liked to have seen something on those. Brake cylinder gauge now illuminated and visible at night. Cab camera positions amended so more of the desk is visible. Second man's camera, we looked at that. Additional passenger view angles. Oh, okay. Oh, there is. Okay. For those of you that like passenger views, you have some additional angles. Not my biggest be-all and end-all, to be honest with you. Saloon lights brightened and colour temperature increased to look cooler, because they are very clinical 700s if you've ever been on one. Should really be setting my DRA. First class antimacassars in passenger view improved in appearance. They did look good. Improved ceiling lights and passenger information screens in passenger view. Didn't notice those. Oh right, yeah, cool. They've got the tube info on them. I don't know who's had much input in this. So I'm wondering if there's going to be any little Easter eggs in those. The park closure of the Northern Line's a nice little touch. Right. Correctly notched power brake controller. It is correct. We showed that off straight away. Master key will not move reverser in forward or reverse. Power brake controller will not move into a power notch unless the reverser is in forward or reverse. Reverser will not move if brake controller is in a power notch. Reverser will not move if the brake controller is in a power notch. Yeah, right, okay. Sorry, my brain had a little meltdown there. Happens regularly. Prototypical cab light rocker switch. Oh, so we've got hang on. So this is spot. So that's those two ones at the front there. And then we've got the main cab light. Okay, that's quite cool. Is that the first time we've had two fully different ones? It's a bit fiddly, I will add. Or am I just out of sync, I think? That'll probably look really cool driving at night with that on, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think I just had the switch wonky. Lights automatically revert to tail lights when the reverser is moved to off. Nope. Oh, I know what this might be. It might be because we've switched ends, mightn't it? That's what this might be. That's why the driver's... Oh, the driver usually has it so the driver switches round. Dipped headlights should be... Oh, right, now we know. Dipped headlights should be used for normal running. Full beam is only required when expecting the line at night. So even at night, you only use dipped beam. That's quite cool. Oh no! Now the driver will be in this cab. It's me. That was me. Ignore me. We're stuck here for a fair while. We're going to end up doing this whole scenario at this rate. Variable major alarm button illuminates a cab desk when DVD is disabled. Okay, it is. Yeah, we can see that there. Wipers audibly rub against the windscreen when it's not wet. That is cool. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Shift V to turn it off, isn't it? I was doing control. Signal button only functions when keyed in and you have door interlock. That's quite a cool little feature. I don't know where these must operate southeastern or something with guards. I know they don't on any of the Great Northern stuff. Do they do any of the Thames Link with guards? I don't think so. I've got signal past danger approved there, but I don't know if I trust it. Usually if I need to tab in a Richard scenario, it will tell you. Press tab. Although it does look clear. And that's being held for me. Do I stay or do I go? Different door alarm on the 717 compared to 700 and 707. Distinctive air whistle can be heard in the cab and saloon when accelerating or decelerating. This changes pitch, spin and rate of that. Visual alarms outside the cab when AWS or DVD are active. There's visible driver reminder. The visible driver automatically moves whichever cab you've switched into. But remember, you need to switch the cabs, like I didn't do. Right hand side head-out view located next to the rear driving vehicle bogie. A great spot to listen to traction motors. We will do a bit more of that soon. 700 and 717s have 2 compressors. Only one operates at a time as to even wear out. Nice. The one which operates is decided on a daily basis by the onboard computer system, and the only exception to this is when starting from cold when both compressors operate. That's a cool little feature to have in. One of those things you just really wouldn't think about, but is actually cool. 1 second delay between passing over the AWS magnet and AWS warning sound. Headlight and pantograph light only illuminate sunrise and sunset. Wipers operate on AI services if it's raining. Nice. And then it's how to use. 3 scenarios included, as with every EP, all for Chatham mainlines and all in the Thames Link one. There are a few for Powerhouse. I'll be showing off a bit of one in a second. Is work in progress, I think, though, so I can't. I'm not going to drive it all the way for you. So Nick did some description on it, and G Studios in the model in the 717 front. Right, let's not worry about failing this scenario. Let's jump on over to the AC version and see what that's like. So 2 seconds. Right, you join us back here, back in the video, but at Finsbury Park. So we're going to set up in AC mode this time.
TPWS and AWS operational.
And then I want us in... We need to open our doors. I think that's about it for us setting this up, isn't it? I don't know. I know they're a modern unit. And I've had the pleasure of sitting next to a guy on a rail tour the other week who was one of the driving instructors on these. And he was telling us some of the... He was massively impressed. He says that in his whole career, and he started off, I think, on the Midland Main Line. And he said out of all the stock he's driven, these were the best for the driver's point of view. He was really smitten with them. Loved the great big view out the cab window. Loved the power controller, that it was just so simple, and the train managed all the traction and everything. So from a driver's point of view, he was very pleased with them. From a driver's point of view and a TS thing, a little bit more functionality wouldn't have gone amiss. I won't lie. There are some lovely bits in this, and the physics feel lovely, and the sounds are awesome. I'm looking forward to the AC sounds more than the DC, but I do feel there's something a little bit lacking. Even if there was just a quick something you had to do with the TMS, or it showed you the doors open or closing, or something in the screen up here, GSMR, just a little something would have been nice. Does it bring the pack down? I think considering how bad the 700 from DTG was, and let's be honest, I didn't even cover it in a video, it was that bad. It was god-awful. It was god-awful. Anybody who says any different, their view is not worth it. I'm serious on this one. It was really that bad. After that, Max and Ben and Ivel and a guy called Michael Dono, a couple of guys from ATS and a guy from the ATS group, put a pack together and even included a 717 sort of AI unit. And that was sort of a decent standing. That was a decent standing. And if you've got the requirements for that already, that will do you for decent-ish standing. This does kind of blow it out the water, though. I'm not going to lie. This has the depth of the sounds. I think is probably what it is more than anything. The depth of the sounds, the physics change. Oh, DRA. I love that. The depth of sounds, the physics, that sort of thing is really, really nice before you even get into the features. So I'm really proud of the guys of what they did with the pack. But this is a much more refined product. Of course it will be. It's a payware product that's had the times we worked on. Max and that did theirs in 2 or 3 days, I think. Just as a stand-in because it was that awful. But this pack definitely fixes 90% of the gripes. And at $14.99, 2 different sound sets, the feature set they've put in, 3 scenarios, 717, you know, it's all right. Right, sorry, I didn't do pull away with that. I know I'm speeding, but we'll get 95 in a second anyway. Run sounds are phenomenal as well. See that run sound? That run sound seems more varied than the usual stuff from AP. I'm impressed with that. See, I've done a 700 on DC, but I am way more familiar with them on AC. It's the neutral section functionality. Look, it's flashing. So we could regain power now. I didn't actually see it coming up, so I didn't plan for it. Now a lot of people will think, oh, the sounds on AC are more boring than on DC. I agree, they're plainer, because you don't get the UFO warble, but I don't particularly find that noise an exciting or nice noise. There's definitely some variation in there, I think. That was a really weird sentence, wasn't it? There's definitely some variation there, I think. I definitely think there is some variation. Yeah. It might just be my ears or my want that it to be there, but to me it does sound like there is. Yeah, see, that even sounds. Now we're even at 99. It was slightly different to what it was before. This scenario, by the way, I'm not going to do it because it's one you're going to get on Powerhouse. It is 9 Juliet 46, 1455 Horsham to Peterborough. What I'm hoping is we catch up with this 717. We'll do a passing shot and horns and stuff on this. Right, the 717. That looks pucker. It's just really the cab fronts that are different, and I think that's a lovely job. I think that's a very nice job. Oh, and I don't think it has the wipers for some reason. I think there's a way they don't match or mix or something, so it's nice to have those on there as well. It's just a bit more of a more rounded, complete pack, but of course you're paying for the privilege of it, so you want it to be a bit more rounded and everything. There's been a lot of controversy about whether this should have a cab or not. If this had a cab, you could add an exponential amount of time on to how long it took to get the pack out, and also the cost. So as a AI only train, I'm quite happy with it. I don't see the big issue. If AP didn't put this in, people are going, why didn't they put one in for AI? They could have just put a front on it for AI. They did it in the ATS pack. And then when AP do it, people go, why has it got no cab? Why have they done it? You might as well just left it out. Why did even bother putting it in? It's not a 717 pack, is it? If it ain't got a 717 in it. It is a 717. You have a 717. It's AI only. It states it very clearly on the website, states it clearly in the manual. And it's not just AI. You can actually drive it, but it will have the 700 cab in it. Now, to me, I would rather have the 700 cab than people bleating on about having the, wait for this, the Thomson 380 cab people have been asking for in this. I think that's madness. I think that's absolute madness. Why would you want a cab that's so old put into a train that's just to get that middle bit right? I can understand it. Max, I think, has now updated the ATS pack to have the 450 cab. But even that's the wrong cab. So are you better off having the wrong cab? Do you want the wrong cab with a divider in the middle? Or do you just want the wrong cab that is at least for the 700? Swings and roundabouts there. I don't think there's any right answer. But I don't think there's any reason for everybody to be overly critical with AP because they've bunged in something pretty much for nothing for you. You're not paying for this as such. So it is kind of, I don't know, controversial, but I'm sure if Richard had the time or the, well, not the time, if his cab modeler had the time to do it and could give a date when it was going to be done by and get it done, you would have got it. But the pack would have been more expensive, if not 2 packs. And then, is 2 packs viable? Well, there is only realistically the freeware route available for Hartford Loop. And whilst it's a decent route, don't get me wrong, Matt did a sterling job of it. It's a freeware route. Richard doesn't do packs specifically for freeware routes. And I can see the logic in that. You don't know how many it's sold. You don't know, you can't support it properly. So there is that as well. There's nowhere really to run it. Apart from having an AI service down the bottom end of this or the Moorgate stuff. I can see why it wasn't priority number 1, put it that way. I'm sure that if there was enough demand and a route became available, I know Matt is revamping Hartford Loop, but then maybe there might be space for a cab to appear commercially. I don't know. It sounds like a 700. It feels brilliant to drive. Yes, the cab is a bit lacking, not going to lie. I'd have liked some more little bits and pieces in here. But again, as I said, they are a train that isn't meant to have lots of things to fiddle with. It's meant to be simplistic in its operation. Do I think it's worth the $14.99? Yes, I do. You're getting 2 sound sets, your scenarios, your reskins, even the 717 thrown in there as well. I think the features it's got with the arcing, the DRA sounds, the TPWS sounds, all of that stuff is nice. It's really nice to have. And the physics are beautiful. The external differences with the liveries, with the vinyls and stuff is really cool. The updated DMI and things like that. The brake gauges working properly, the cold start sequences. I think it has a lot going for it. Is it the latest and greatest groundbreaking pack from AP? No. Sound-wise, it's really high up there for me. It's really, really high up there for me. The sounds are bob on, in my opinion. But you've got plenty of use for it as well. East Coast Main Line South, King's Cross, Kings Lynn. You've got all the southern routes for, not southern, like southern region-y, southeastern stuff, routes for the 707 and that sort of jazz. So there's people going, we needed something else. And it's like, I don't think we need something else. This has much more use value than lots of other trains that could have been done just now as an EP. I think it was a very good choice. Very good timing as well. So you can see we still have the reflection, but it's slightly changed. We've now got the white desk as well, which is nice. It's not the seat and everything. So it's there, it's just reduced. That's very nice. I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. Right, I'm not going to keep you going for too long because I've already gone on longer than I was going to. So let's get the brakes on and do an external. The run sounds and track joint sounds of this are lovely. I'll stop in a neutral section, that wouldn't be very good. You can hear the transformer hum come in there. So I now know we've got power again. I really like that. I want to see these dynamic brake fans decal. There we go. That does look better than the other one as well. Yeah, all in all, I'm really impressed with it, to be honest. Yes, the cab could have had some more functionality, but I'm sure there's reasons for that. But just in a ideal world, I'd have liked to have seen something just there, and GSMR would have been nice. I want to hear it do the farty noises again. Alright then, to sum it up, it's a goer from me. I am very pleased with it. Yes, it has a couple of little downfalls, like every pack, but it is nice. No worse than anything else. But it does things really nicely. It makes a unit that was completely undrivable now very, 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 very drivable, which is lovely. Alright guys, thanks ever so much for sticking with us. Please feel free to like, share and subscribe. Head over to AlanThompsonSim.com for your latest and greatest trades and needs. And catch me over on Twitch. Keep an eye on the Facebook group for Twitch at the moment. We're doing sometimes 2 a week, sometimes 3 a week, sometimes 1 a week. But the streams are there, and the streams are going to be your best place for all your up-to-date information on what's going on with ATS and within the train sim community in general, really. So once again, guys, thanks ever so much, and I will catch you next time. All the best.